Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here once again to discuss My Hero Academia, but this time I am joined by MangaReader.
Hey folks, it's me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah. Granted, we had a few technical difficulties where I forgot to change my account's usernames and all that stuff.
Yep, we
Uh,
don't need to go any further than
yeah,
that.
yeah, but yeah, we're here to discuss My Hero. But for those wondering why not Lucky Chi, well, like I said last week, he's a bit going to be absent for a few weeks. But I figured, you know what? I know someone else who regularly reads My Hero Academia, and I haven't had him on the stream for a while, so why not MangaReader?
Yeah, I'm always the second choice.
Well, you're my first choice for Wreck of the Ragnarok.
Oh, makes me feel so happy. I'm the only one. There's a
Okay,
anyway.
okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
No, it's fine.
But
Gotta
anyway,
add comedy to the section anyway.
yeah. But anyway, we're gonna anyway. Besides the latest chapter, 322, which is named "A Great Explosion, Murder God, Dynamite," or BAKUGO for short. Besides that,
Yep.
we're also going to We're probably also going to talk a bit about the tie-in chapter for the upcoming My Hero Academia special. Academia movie, World's End special tie-in chapter, Endeavor's mission. But before that, let's see. We're just going to get into the main point of the topic and the chapter itself. So yeah.
The chapter, just right there.
Okay,
Bam.
but it's just that. But before, although I suppose perhaps Margarita, perhaps I should ask, what are your views of being with the last two chapters? I guess like with Class 1A versus Deku and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, because you had a stream by yourself. What, the last two times now? I'm
I mean,
assuming.
I think the last time I think by myself, and the
Just the
last,
last time. All
yeah,
right. Last two chapters when he. Oh yeah, when the class all came together and then they had their moment. It's like, damn, the bait and switch with Ochaku sure is getting real now again.
uh-huh.
I think I commented on a Skype post. I'm like, there's no way that the next chapter is gonna go the way that we all think it is, right? One person or a couple people still haven't had what they wanted to say to Deku, right?
Yeah,
But it was interesting to see how much of impact Midoriya had on his classmates to the point
yeah.
where
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say to the point where they actually seem like they've formed a bigger camaraderie than when he first started out in the class.
Yeah, I have to admit, I do like how the last two chapters had like Class 1A showing, even if there were small moments with Midoriya, just showing just how much those interactions have meant to them and all that stuff. So there was that. I do like how, in many ways, which is pretty impressive given the fact that this is a class of 20, and in some ways, let's see, you've at least had some form of relationship with the main character compared to like those who had like fewer cast members in certain series.
We still don't know what Invisible Girl thinks of Deku, though.
Yeah, so I guess no one's perfect, but yeah. But then again, I guess that's why she's invisible.
Yep. So important to the plot, we sometimes even forget she's there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Great power, guys.
So yeah, so you've been pretty much enjoying these chapters, but yeah.
It's been good. I mean, some of them you could argue maybe have some forced emotion added to it, but I mean, it is what it is. Some characters are more important than other characters,
Yeah, that is true. But anyway.
whether or not we like to admit that.
So anyway, on to the chapter now. Let's see. From what we continue off, let's see from last time. Let's see. Midoriya is trying to, think to himself about how he needs to free himself from like Ida's grasp, but he doesn't have any strength left. However, he cannot help but cry at Ida's words. Uraraka releases the boat. Let's see, Ida, and they start to both fly down. with him commenting about how he can stick a landing. However, lucky for him, Kirishima is ready to capture him and all that stuff. Explaining that, let's see, with him then asking Midoriya about, let's see, a story he heard about last year about, let's see, some kid is in his age, let's see, dashing to save this pal, which I think if we remember, like, let's see, in the 4th season, or the overhaul arc, if you will, in which we did see that flashback of Kirishima's where he did hear that story before.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's an interesting scenario because it's like one guy did what he wanted to do, the other guy wanted to do something but didn't act on it, which was, again, Kirishima's whole story.
Yeah,
story
but,
arc,
yeah.
so nice
Yeah,
parallel.
Yeah, it's a nice parallel, and I guess it kind of shows how Kirishima sort of admires Midoriya for his, like, let's see, given the fact he comments that didn't have squat to do with special powers or anything, it's just like the way he's just sort of like,
his strength of character.
Yeah. And he's kind of comparing him what they're trying to do now and trying to get him to come back to UA.
Yep.
Let's see, with either commenting on nice timing from Kirishima, which he did say that Endeavor gave him, like, the permission to finally go there. Anyway, the rest of Class 1A arrives with Mina saying, like, how they can't stand the thought of losing anyone else. Which is probably she was referring to Midnight's death, because I do remember she was one of the ones that cried very deeply when they found out she died. So she's asking them to stick with him and all that stuff and attend class again.
Yes.
However, Midoriya why he liked that is feels like he just caused too much trouble for being there in UA. And he can't really go back to who he was before and all that stuff, because I'm pretty certain after what he's probably experienced during his alone time, you're never going to be really the same afterwards, are you?
Not at all.
Yeah. So, anyway, Bakugo ends up trying to ask Midoriya if he remembers what he said to him when they went up against Shigaraki about him trying to stop winning on his own and all that stuff. However, Midoriya does not, and Bakugo ends up revealing to him the reason why he's always tried to keep him at distance and kept him crap and treated him like crap all this time. Is due to the fact that he looked down on him and quirkless, but due to the fact that due to perhaps Midoriya's actions, particularly when he tried to help Bakugo that one time when they fell, he ends up feeling like Midoriya was above him in some ways, and he hated it, and he couldn't really look at him. So he kept him at arm's length, trying to be all superior and all that stuff. But once he got into UA, none of that worked, and he kept thinking about him and trying to understand and all that stuff. And during as we get this, we sort of get like a sort of mirror panel of the two looking at each other with Bakugo but when they're like kids, middle school, and then UA school, and then when they're heroes and all that stuff. And as we see in Midoriya's end, his white eyes become a lot more clear, and we're beginning to see like his actual pupils,
Yep.
come up, and then finally Bakugo says the words that we figured would eventually come, but perhaps never expected them to come. Now is him saying, "I'm sorry for everything." Blimey.
I'm sorry.
Let's see, blimey. A rival apologizing? And it's not even at the end, towards the end of the series?
Nope.
Blimey,
well, it could be. We could be getting closer, but yes, it's not at the end yet at all.
Yeah, we are in the last saga, so yeah. But after, let's see, Bakugo says those words, Midoriya's eyes are fully cleared and all that stuff. As Bakugo continues about how there's nothing really wrong with the path Midoriya's walked, since, let's see, he's following All Might's lead, but he comments that he's barely able to stand on his own right now and all that stuff. He can't just do it with his ideals. And that he needs everyone to help him handle all the stuff he can't do by himself. in order to until he's ready to surpass All Might, and say that with them together they will save civilians and protect UA, because saving everyone is how heroes win. With these words, Midoriya thinks how everyone's always been ahead of him, as he ends up repeating the words, "I said you can keep up with me," and finally says he's sorry for saying something so awful. With Bakugo saying that they understand, as you just have everyone from Class 1A look on. Let's see just what has happened between the two. A nice kind of shot, like of Shoto and Uraraka looking on.
Mhm.
And then let's see, Momo, or Creati, if you will, for him name, ends up commenting that their first challenge is cleared, but going forward will be now the tough part. With it seeming like Midoriya seems to have probably finally collapsed from exhaustion as he's waking up from the next few panels. And we end up seeing 13, but unmasked.
Unmasked 13.
Yep.
How is she still alive?
I don't know. I can't recall what happened to her. Let's see, the last
I
time.
remember, actually. It's something to do with her powers. She's able to resist, but it just seems kind of weird that there's actually someone in that uniform.
Yeah. But yeah. So we find out that she's this girl. Well, she is. We've known for a long time she was
Woman,
female.
yeah. Yep.
But we end up finding she has sort of short like hair and these very unique pupils, I have to say, with these eyes.
Black hole is a ridiculous ability.
Yeah. Let's see. But anyway, but after she's checked that Midoriya can hear him, she tells him about how civilians have moved into the evacuation shelters to across the country. And those that are remaining are just the anti-hero protesters who have formed after or apparently formed a vigilante corps, or those who just do not trust heroes and just trying to take on the bad guys themselves. We've seen a few of them. Let's see. Or people are just acting violent just to take advantage of the escaped convicts. And then we end up seeing UA, but as a max emergency security system, which looks like a blimming fortress.
Yep.
Let's see. But anyway, let's see. It seems like more and more people are coming into these shelters as they're tired of these anti-hero people just causing just chaos and all that stuff, and going to the shelters. While those that Witsy remain end up forming violent gangs that are taken down. And apparently, I'm sorry, what?
Oh no, I said that they do. That's all I was gonna say.
And it seems like the heroes are starting to get a bit more organized. To improve this situation. And apparently, and it seems like due to Midoriya's hero working outside there, it's made it much easier for the heroes and the police to take over now that he seemed to have done quite a fair share of the work. So it seems like Midoriya's work has been pretty effective, even though we only saw it very briefly.
Insane levels of work ethic.
Yep. Pretty sane, all right, but yeah. But Midoriya's quite shocked to see UA state of it, though Sarah ends up telling him about. Let's see. He says that this is just the tip of the iceberg, so we're probably going to see a lot more security in the future, though I'm very curious.
Fantastic.
Yeah, with Invisible Girl end up saying how. Let's see how you'll freak out about them. Let's see the details about the system.
I always remember her name and then I forget it, and then I don't ever feel like remembering it. So I know she has a name, and I don't even think Invisible Girl is literally even her hero name, but it's just hilarious when we go by that.
I think it is, though. It's a bit ironic since Stan Lee did originally call the Invisible Woman the Invisible Girl before finally going like, from now on, call me the Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess we should be glad that Marvel has not copyrighted that name.
Rescinded it. Yeah. Rescinded that comment. We rescind our use of yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Either that, or many people from Marvel are actually fans of My Hero Academia. Well, I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah.
No, there's a lot of Marvel references per se.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And apparently, let's see, their school can combine with the Shikasu Gutsi Academy, which I believe it's that one with like that wind dude in it, right?
I
And the one
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the military-esque looking school uniform guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the one. So we'd probably see more of them, which I suppose that which was probably be good, I guess, since it'd be nice to see My Hero using its other side characters, even if it is in minor roles, but still.
Of course.
But anyway, Midoriya ends up, thinking of how he wants to honor his class's feelings about all this, but he ends up saying how he can't come back. And we end up learning why as we hear a bunch of noise, and it revealed to be a bunch of civilians protesting about asking them not to let Midoriya take one step into UA, since they seem to see this figured out that since Shigaraki has found the rumors about Shigaraki targeting a certain kid, they've probably figured out that it's probably Midoriya. With and you can see like Midoriya just looking on in this depressed state with Mitzi present Mike trying to calm down like the protesters. With granted, there are some that say like, didn't you about how surely the principal has saying that he's confirmed their safety here, but others are like, they're not convinced, and apparently that because but since that Midoriya's coming in here, he's like a ticking time bomb, and they probably don't feel safe with him around. Asking why does he have to be in UA, and just let him slide in someplace else. And we see Midoriya just looking on and then just starting to walk away. However, Uraraka grabs his hand, telling him it's okay, as she thinks about how Ida and everyone else started linking this chain. And how Bakugo also played his part in this too, and how they're not going to let go of him now. And and she ends up saying the words that she said at the end of like the war arc about, because when heroes need protecting, who will be there to protect them? As we get the final panel of her looking on about her resolve to like be there for the heroes who need helping. And that ends the chapter.
Yeah, how much foresight are we getting here? Are we getting really close, or are we going to have another tease, so to speak?
Yep. So yeah, that's quite a bit of ship teasing there.
Like, come on, either confirm it like you did everything else. Don't wait till the end, or be a maniacal bastard and wait till the damn end.
Oh no, it seems when it comes to romance, most mangas rather wait towards the end. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because romance is the thing of which they're focusing on. Come on, guys, come on.
Honestly, when you do it, so many times it gets done to death. You get people sick of it and just say, just come on and do it already. We want to see an actual developed relationship.
Toriyama didn't care. He had Bulma and Yamcha hook up mid Dragon Ball, essentially.
That is true.
Of course, Toriyama didn't focus on romance at all, and all of his romance and all of his stories is kind of iffy at best. Yeah, just average at best.
Yeah, or just there, just so that a certain Super Saiyan kid can exist.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah,
yeah, come on, guys! You're all saying Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are like your idols or some crap.
And yet you always go to romance at the end, and
you always go for other tired cliche. Romance waits to the very last chapter or the last before last chapter.
Yeah, and then you face heel turn and what you're actually developing from what we've seen of some of them. But yeah,
We don't talk about that. We this is a no talk about that zone.
fair enough. But yeah, but let's see. And honestly, probably best to get it done with before ship wars are getting intensified. As I think
There shouldn't be ship wars in this. There's like no other. I mean, okay, there are ships in this, but come on, there's like only one instance of one other particular ship in this series, and it's only one instance. It's not even a real moment.
Mm-hmm.
People just do it because they want to.
But yeah, but I definitely saw some Uraka Bakugo shippers feel like they should give up now. But
Yeah, I think it's been pretty obvious since every Uraraka panel that we've received always involves Deku in some situation.
yeah, well, some shippers are just stubborn, I guess.
Yeah, they just wanna shift the crack tees.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but anyway, I do like how Midoriya is still a bit reluctant at first until he finally ends up, hearing like Bakugo's words and all that stuff. I definitely like let's see how Red Riot brought up like the reason. Let's see how he heard about Midoriya trying to rescue Bakugo from the very first chapter, as a reason why he admires him, because that was before he had his powers and all that stuff.
It's just proof.
Sorry, go on.
I said it's just again proof that Midoriya, whether we want to sometimes admit it or not, actually does have the main character status of inflicting every other character with feelings.
Yeah, shonen character that always does end up having shonen characters, particularly main ones, but they always end up getting admired by a group of friends, crew, or even like superiors, if you will. It's a common trope, and I think it will continue on shonen regardless of how original, unoriginal you get it from all that stuff.
And in Goku's case, all of his former enemies.
No. That definitely seems to be the case with Super, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, what? Again, Krillin didn't start off as his friend, wasn't necessarily an antagonist, but was not his friend. Yamcha was definitely an antagonist. Tien was an antagonist. Piccolo was an antagonist. Vegeta was an antagonist. I don't think Goku has any friends other than Bulma and Roshi, who were never antagonists.
Well, I guess you could also count Chi-Chi and maybe his family, but
Well, yeah, Alex King wasn't an antagonist, nor was Chi-Chi. But it's just like in terms of all his like on-screen friends who support him in battle, they're all his former enemies.
Yeah.
Krillin might be the closest to non-antagonistic overall, but still.
Yeah, perhaps this explains why so many mangas do redemption arcs for villains.
Yep.
They get it from Dragon Ball, but yeah. But anyway, I do like how... Sorry, go on.
Hooray!
But anyway, I do like how when Ashido is talking, you can tell that she's implying that Midnight's death, about how she doesn't want anyone else lost to her and all that stuff.
Of course. I think so. I mean, it made sense in that panel.
Mm-hmm.
But she always seems to be the one most optimistic, I guess, of the group.
Yeah. Well, at least the one that's likely to be the more happy-go-lucky one.
Yeah, so whenever things get truly serious and she's the one kind of being out there, then you know for a fact. Although I guess Froppy was also one that was considered like that, but I don't know. She kind of actually disappeared to the background for some reason, despite her popularity.
Yep. But anyway, one thing I kind of like about is but I definitely I kind of commented on this before. But when Bakugo's explaining the reason why he pushed Midoriya aside because he didn't want to because he felt like Midoriya was a bit witty, even though he didn't have a quirk. He seemed to be superior to him in some ways, given his like actions, particularly when he tried to help Bakugo when younger. So he just tried to push him away and just hope that Midoriya would leave him alone. But as time went on,
Right.
Midoriya just couldn't really escape his witty mind and all that stuff.
I guess the funny thing with Bakugo is just like for whatever reason the fan base kind of associates him with Endeavor in some cases in terms of how the character was portrayed originally. So in this case, Bakugo's treatment of Midoriya was borderline
abusive,
homicidal at times. You could argue. I mean, he exploded him a couple times. I think he almost threatened to like drop him from a building or whatnot. I believe. I could be wrong on that one. I might be misremembering, but I think that was one of his earliest encounters that we had with him and Midoriya's friendship, so to speak. So I think a lot of comments that I always saw throughout the years involving Deku and Bakugo's friendship, as I'm using air quotations that no one can see me use, was the fact that it kind of was like, why is Deku friends with this guy? And obviously, we've finally saw some flashback hints that Bakugo wasn't necessarily always that bad to Midoriya at times.
Yeah.
As it pointed out, but again, it just kind of stuck with just like Endeavor now recently having these flashbacks that showed he wasn't necessarily as bad of a father at times, even though he was, quite frankly, a monster.
Let's see. Oh yeah, it started out well, but as let's see, his son's weaknesses in his like body affected his work, and his envy of All Might grew. He became
much more determined and much more less, all that jazz. Anyway, it's like he hasn't gone out of his way to make Endeavor like this perfect guy that once he apologizes, everything's going to go back to normal. No, Endeavor says, I mean, a couple times now, Endeavor has made it clear that he probably doesn't deserve to be part of whatever the family is, but
once this revelation about his son Dabby has come up, he's just realized just how much he's mucked up.
Yeah.
The fact that his first son is like now a dangerous villain.
A super villain that probably may or may not be savable, but honestly, with his storyline, I think it's pretty clear that unless something like super happens, I don't think he's going to get like the happy ending where it's going to be, oh yeah, the family's all together again. We can finally can finally forgive you. But again, steps have been taken to make him less of a jerk, and he has come out and realized it. So what I'm trying to basically say is, I don't think Bakugo and Deku's situation was necessarily on that level. So I don't know necessarily if this apology is going to make people like start forgiving Bakugo in terms of a character or not. But for the people that were pretty keen on Bakugo as a character, I think this was really good overall closure. I'm going to say it's closure because, I mean, it at least pinpoints that Bakugo's finally moved on from having like this fake rivalry to probably now having like a genuine
friendship
rivalry, so to speak.
Yeah, it seems.
Or go back to the way it was in their minds. Yeah.
Be like what they were before. Like Witty Bakugo had his quirk, and Midoriya didn't have a quirk at all, and all that stuff.
Right. So I think what happened with Bakugo, in my opinion, was that with how much praise he got, it seemed like Midoriya never really, even when he praised him, it's like that moment where he fell down and whatnot. I don't think that was Deku trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to help you up. I know that you fell down. I'm better than you. I think it was just literally Midoriya being like, hey, you fell down, and I don't think you need to get up on your own. I think you should have someone help you or whatnot, and what for. So I can understand why Bakugo being consistently praised for in his childhood about his quirk suddenly being like, holy crap, who is this guy trying to help me up?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Bakugo has come a long way, I must admit.
Did he make rash decisions? Yes. Did he do some things that were stupid? Yes. Did Deku never really do anything to resolve those issues? Probably not. But for whatever it is, we are where we are now.
They are, not to mention, they are ritzy teenagers right now. So when you're young, you tend to do a lot of stuff that
may or may not make sense.
Well, not make sense and end up regretting later.
Right. I always question whether I say this every time in My Hero Academia that no matter what, that everyone, even like regular people, have to be at least superhuman compared to what humans were back in the day before quirks, because a lot of them still survive certain aspects of things, even when their quirks don't relegate that situation. Like Bakugo's explosions. I mean, unless he's like toning them down, Deku was taking them pretty okayish.
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. This is just one of those don't think about it too much bits of logic.
Could be too.
But yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them display some form of at least superhuman durability. Like again, just thinking of it, the Stain fight yet again, where Deku was using like 10%. Maybe that 10% is really, really low on a superhuman strength feat, but the fact that he was able to move around pretty damn quickly, just to me, like, just says, hey, these guys seem to have either really good control of their power, or the people that don't have like these abilities somehow still have some really strong durability feats. I'm just gonna say people have some stronger durability, like some superhuman levels of durability.
Probably, I suppose, though.
Just to make up for their quirks is probably what it is, but it's still like, every time I'm just gonna keep mentioning it, man.
Fair enough, but yeah. So anyway, Bakugo ends up doing what we don't really see most rivals do until the very end. Say they're sorry.
Right.
It's like, in many ways, it's much better than any and most of the apologies I've actually seen from previous rivals.
Well, it's a good thing that this story's come out to learn from its predecessors, because at this point, I don't know if there was really too much more you could have for Bakugo being overconfident.
No, hostile towards Midoriya.
Or hostile. Yeah, I guess hostile. But I mean, if Deku at 45% is doing this type of output, it's kind of hard to see how Shoto and Bakugo have any odds of coming up clutch in anything once Midoriya finally gets 100%. Especially now that he has a power that can be stacked in terms of momentum.
You mean with the third user's quirk with him?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, basically it makes him at 100% whether he's using 100% of his power or not.
Yeah, not to mention there's also the second user's quirk to consider when he probably gets more stronger. But yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, I must admit, I do like the visual design of like the visual panels of like young and let's see, as the two of Benoy and Bakugo, getting older and older until the light where they are now.
Aging up, yeah, that's a nice side by side.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely say. But yeah, so we've talked about them being. Let's see, but we've probably talked about a Bakugo apologizing enough now, and how it's much better than what we've seen from other rivals in shonen manga.
I think that's the biggest point of the manga too, or at least in terms of this chapter. I think that's essentially the highlight of it.
Yep. So yeah, we've got like the apology and all that stuff, and yeah. So we get to look forward to where seeing Bakugo and Midoriya interact now that afterwards. Now that this has happened. So yeah.
I could somehow still see it with Bakugo being kind of like his normal self, but
Yeah.
in a less harsher tone.
Yeah.
Or maybe still in the harsher tone because it's just an iconic fit for the character going forward. But
Not to mention,
the next interaction should be interesting.
Yeah. Not to mention, it's always funny just to see him like, shut up!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eating the speech bubbles.
I have to admit, I was a bit surprised that we actually got 13's official. Let's see what she actually looks like in this chapter.
I guess we're going not going the Kubo route, waiting till the very end to try and reveal like everything that was missed.
Or doing what Naruto did with Kakashi's face reveal in an Omake chapter.
Yeah, that was pretty funny considering the fact that there was another Omake chapter that hinted at what it would look like, only for them to say, no, it's not like that. Only for it to eventually be revealed that it was almost clearly that, yeah.
But
we were gonna make this a non-Naruto discussion, damn it.
Sorry. Let's see.
It's
That
fine.
was the last time I bring up Naruto in this, but
I'm only bringing up Kubo because Bleach finally got its new
Revival.
anime eventually soon, and it's got a
brand new manga arc.
Yeah, and arc or whatever special 73 page.
Well, yeah, but it's revealing it's starting a brand new arc from the looks of things.
Oh crap! That means I'm gonna have to get back into Bleach. No, but I didn't necessarily like the pairing endings.
Let's see. Planning on doing a stream with it. Though I'm waiting to discuss it with like a few others of who might join. I'm not sure if you want to join then, but
yes, Bleach fans out there that watch My Hero Academia, I do believe that Ichigo and Rukia were a thing.
Oh dear, ship war incoming.
Yep. That's it, guys. That's it. That's where we're going.
Anyway.
Speaking of ships.
Anyway, back to let's see, My Hero. I like the design of the fortress that UA security system is, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the designs have never really failed in My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's been really too much of a miss on anything, really.
That is true. Anyway, one thing that I will admit, that I also was a bit surprised to see, but should have probably expected, is like more citizens now becoming more aware of Midoriya, and as such, they don't really want him around because apparently they don't. Well, granted, they don't know the full context of what Midoriya. They realize that Shigaraki
possesses, yeah,
but they don't realize probably fully why. Let's see, but either way, at the moment they are pretty hostile towards him. In my ways, it reminds me of a certain manga series which I'm not going to name, but as I promised I wouldn't.
As you promised. Oh, come on, we all know what it is. You don't even have to say it by name. Why it's this coming up this late is beyond me, but
yeah,
whatever. He takes from his idol, one way or the other.
Though granted, instead of having it at the beginning of the series, it's near towards the end of it.
Yeah, I would assume this is the end because I think wasn't there something that came out that said that we're getting closer to the end?
Yeah, this is the final saga, and this is the first arc of the final saga.
Goody.
But yeah.
Just remember, guys, Deku always says that this is the story how I became the greatest hero. So unless there's going to be like some really crazy crap to happen, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say he comes out of this somewhat alive.
Yep. But I do like how when Midoriya, is just about to leave, it's Uraraka that reminds them, saying that it tells them that it's okay, and they'll be here for him and all that stuff, giving us like we said earlier, a nice ship moment. So
she had no moment in the converting of Deku coming back, so this is her moment, hopefully.
Yeah. Though she did play a part in helping others reach Midoriya, so I'd say she did take part in the fight to some extent, just perhaps not the way we expected.
No, she took part. No, I was just saying that how again, not everyone had a
Oh, not
specific
everyone had a point.
moment of when Midoriya changed them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but this
Or
is
helped them or yada, yada, yada.
yeah, but this is like her speech to him and all that stuff, as you will.
Maybe. And
Okay,
probably won't be because that would be too much of a good thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure when Arca finally talks about how Midoriya is inspired, it'll probably be like a love confession.
Yeah, most likely. We can't have that yet.
Let's see.
That's too soon.
I assume that let's see. If I had to guess, we're probably not going to get the confession until after she takes, like, Toga down.
Possibly.
Since Toga's also in love with Midoriya.
So when you think about it, it's like, wow, now that we're into this point of the manga, it's like, damn, there's so much going on that you kind of wish it would be longer chapters. You still want to know what all the other villains are up to. Still want to know about, I guess, what the other heroes are doing. You want to see if maybe Vigilante somehow gets a crossover into this.
I believe Vigilantes is nearing its end, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah. But I'm just curious to see if he actually, because he has some tie-ins to My Hero Academia and Vigilantes, albeit it's like before My Hero Academia, obviously, so there would obviously be references to that. But I'm curious to see if Vigilantes makes its way into the actual story. That'd be kind of cool, especially given the situation now that we're a part of.
Yeah. I will admit I am curious to see if that's the case. Granted, it might just be like that, what's the Attack on Titan manga prequel Before the Fallen, which has really no connection to the main timeline, except I think the invention of the gears, that's the equipment they use to take out Titans.
Right.
But
nope, yeah. I'm 100% positive somehow Vigilantes will show up in this, but not really. But it would still be cool. So yeah, there's quite a lot of things going on right now that are going to be interesting to see how week by week manga tackles situation.
So, to curiosity, would you say that this is now the end of the hunt for the villains arc? The first arc and the final villains in the saga?
It could be. I guess we'd have to see what next chapter ultimately brings. If Deku's gonna somehow be truly accepted into the role of being back at UA, or if they're gonna somehow try and make him escape one more time before truly coming back or whatnot. But this is a good hint that this might be the end of that particular sub arc, I guess.
Yeah. So let's see. If I had to guess, next chapter we're probably going to see Midoriya's mother and Eri just being happy just to see Midoriya again. Maybe see Ayazawa. Granted, I'm a bit curious to see if we'll get any updates on All Might and Stain, because Stain was watching as Midoriya parted ways with All Might, so I assume that's going to be built up to something. Possibly Stain testing Midoriya to see if he's truly worthy of succeeding All Might.
I think what wasn't his. If I'm assuming that was his inner speech bubble about Midoriya being basically the true successor towards All Might, being like a true hero. Maybe that was just a comment I read, but could have sworn Stain might have mentioned something more or less that Midoriya was a hero.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a bit impressed that Midoriya. I don't know in the Stain fight. He was impressed enough with Midoriya to say that he has potential to be a true hero, so he let him live.
Right.
So he's going to let him live, but he was going to kill Eden and that native hero who ends up being killed in the war arc. But
of course,
yeah, in a sort of who's who died.
So goody. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, we all thought the overhaul fight, or not overhaul, but muscular fight was going to be longer than it ultimately ended up being. So it'd be interesting to see if Stain gets an actual true rematch, or if he maybe Maybe even does like this weird heel turn situation where he kind of uh,
Realize
becomes
he's
like this
wrong.
anti-hero type of, yeah, where he doesn't necessarily side with the villains for sure. Maybe teams up with the heroes, so to speak.
Not enough. I know that I know that Lucky Cheese waiting for Gentle. Anyway,
Well, wherever, yeah. Wait, Gentle Criminals. I
yeah,
guess he was released. That's right. Yeah.
let's see. I mean, that's apparently there's talks. I think I remember as arc ended with like talks that that might not still be too late for you to try and become a hero
Right.
in Etsy and all that stuff. So who knows
Could be
that? So
interesting. Could be interesting to see some former villains as we know them. Because I know Stain actually was not for Shigaraki's original plan because it lacked directive. But he seems to be pretty keen on like true heroes, so I don't know if it would still side with Shigaraki or All
Midoriya.
for One's, yeah, All for One's motives because they don't seem to want heroes at all, and Stain seems to believe in like at least an idealistic hero that doesn't do shit for money or fame or any of that. Just literally doing hero work for hero work. So
Yep.
I'll be interested to see if Stain actually has like a role in this.
So yeah. That's interesting. So anyway, let's see overall score this chapter and then go on to the special let's see tie-in chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Curiosity, are you one of the from what I've seen, there are those that wanted Midoriya to come back to UA and those that wanted him to continue being outside UA. I think Lucky Chi was one of them. I'm just
Oh,
wondering.
staying outside of UA.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, where do you land in? Are you fine, or do you just don't really mind either way?
I never really put much thought into him staying or leaving. I was kind of just going with whatever the story narrative was.
Fair enough.
Him on his own is kind of interesting, but I don't know if he's just gonna do whatever he was on his peak. Uh, Basically, like not take care of himself. I don't know. I think it could work either way with him being back or not.
Fair
But
enough.
that I don't know how they're gonna necessarily write it. If he's back, how they're gonna like be able to. Oh yeah, let's have classes again while everything's going to hell on the outside. So that'd be kind of interesting to see that get tackled, though. See if what their plans are. Assuming Midoriya is back and assuming classes are somehow kind of back, if they're going to be more like mission classes.
Yeah. I am curious to see which class Shinso will actually join. Class 1A or about 2A if it becomes if classes start again. Or class 1B or 2B.
It'd be kind of interesting to see him just kind of switch around, just
Yep.
be like that guy that doesn't really have a class, just essentially
Yeah. No,
just
I don't.
works as, yeah.
No, sadly, I don't think that's how Japanese school systems work. But
I don't think so either. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure he's gonna probably have to join a class, but it would have been interesting just to see if he was capable of, going on missions with Class 1A at times, if they needed him, or
yeah.
maybe they don't even have a class system now. Maybe
Well,
Class 1A was only there because they were the most close to Deku, but yeah, we'll see.
so, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how many of the other school teachers and staff and students know about Midoriya's quirk.
I
When
think it would
students do.
actually be kind of awesome if, like I suggested, out of the random blue, is if they literally just start doing like missions where certain teams have to team up. Obviously, Midori would be most of the teams, if not all the teams. Kind of like how the Naruto filler arc was, and I know I'm the one bringing it up, but I'm the one bringing it up this time. But how pre-Shippuden the filler arc where Naruto was always teaming up with random members at certain times. just to get them some spotlight at times. That'd be kind of cool to see, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're doing that in that spin-off manga of Team Ups, in which it's covering those few months before like the war arc. Let's see. I'm not sure.
Okay, then maybe I'm lost then at that point, but that's a cool spin-off then.
Yeah. Apparently, you have Midoriya teaming up with his classmates and with like some of the pro heroes that we know from like the outside and all that stuff. Because I think the first chapter had Midoriya, Bakugo, and Uraraka teaming up with the bunny girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go read that. Shit.
Yeah,
you have to go read that.
Yeah, but I'd recommend checking it out. But yeah, so we have that. But yeah. Anyway,
all right,
overall.
well then.
So I got.
I was just gonna say, all right, then I don't know. We'll see where that goes then.
Yeah. So anyway, overall, I'll give this chapter I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10, just because I really like the Bakugo apology thing. I definitely like the moments like Kirishima and Mina had, and I definitely like Uraraka's like moment of helping Deku stay in, and also the reveal of Lady 13. I mean, of number 13. So yeah,
just for the hell of it, thrown in there. We're gonna reveal her picture now, just for the hell of it.
So yeah,
He's in the mood to draw the women's this time.
So yeah, what score are you giving it out of curiosity, or are you just saying you liked it?
I mean, was it? I don't know. If there were any flaw, it'd be, but I'd have to give it a 9.5 because I can't really name a particular flaw with this chapter.
Fair enough.
I don't know if it was perfect, but I think 9.5 is definitely being maybe a little harsh because it could have been a 10 out of 10 chapter, honestly.
Yeah, I have half in mind to give it a 10 out of 10 myself now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, the main part of the manga, I guess you could argue that the flaw might have been the opening and ending might have been a little kind of too soft or something like that. I don't know what to say about it. I think 9.5 to 10 just seems pretty strong to me. So it was a good frankly, amongst all the chapters recently, I'd say this is probably the best one. But I know some people might be reading My Hero for action, so they probably would say some of the past chapters were a little better, like the fight against the sniper woman was probably super well done. Yeah. Can't wait to see that animated.
We're gonna have to wait till like season 7.
I know. It's gonna take forever. No, there's so many things that need to be animated now. That one's gonna be like like you said, season 7 or season 8 if they want to be like totally weird. But no, this was definitely like again up there chapter. So I'll say anywhere from 9.5 to 10. So
yep. Let's see. So yeah. Anyway, now that we've reviewed this chapter, we can get on to like the special chapter. You have read that, right?
Yeah, I did. I read it because it was the in-betweener anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. The special spin-off chapter, Endeavor's mission and all that stuff, in which it's a tie-in chapter to the World Heroes movie, in which it's revealed that it's setting place during like their study at Endeavor's agency, and apparently these are the chapter events leading up to the film, as Midoriya, Bakugo, and Shoto are being tested by Endeavor and I believe the World's Hero Association to see whether or not they can go on a global mission which has all these other like heroes and collaborating. A sort of coalition of heroes, if you will.
It's supposed to be taking place in the States, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess you could say they're forming Justice League International or the Justice International or the Avengers International. I don't know.
Your superhero confrontation.
Yeah. or like whatever the biggest superhero team is in the world, and depending on your continuity for superheroes.
Where the hell were all these heroes when when All for One was destroying the Japanese population? You can't tell me that One for All was was gonna be able to just beat him by himself, even though that's mechanically what happened. Where were all these heroes?
Well, they're finally coming in now. From what this arc is implied, so we're getting them. But I guess we're getting a tease of them in this movie.
Japan has the #1 bad guy in the whole world of population, but yeah, you know, the United States, we got to take care of our own villains.
Don't forget that.
Typical.
There's also China. Well, there's also China as well. But
I know, yeah.
Or
the rest of the world has no villain problems as big as one or two of the most special quirks in all of the land. This isn't Japan biased or anything.
This is probably, in hindsight, probably why My Hero Academia probably should have made its own fictional world of superheroes. Probably. Instead of our real world, but oh well.
We got our biasnesses going on now again. Thanks, Japan. I know you're writing it, but you don't have to make yourself out to be the #1 country in the world.
Well, to be fair, I think every country, when they make their own fictional media, does that.
I know, exactly. I'm just pulling at the strings.
All right, fair enough. But I mean, look at us Brits with Doctor Who.
Yep.
No matter where we are in time and space.
You're the only country that gets hounded by paranormal activity.
Yep. Let's see, but yeah. So anyway.
How are you still alive with all the ghost robots and aliens in your country?
I don't know. But yeah.
You don't know.
So yeah. The Doctor, I guess. But yeah, but anyway,
hooray.
Anyway. Endeavor says that, let's see, in order for them to come along, let's see, for our 3 protagonists to come along, they need to try and at least hit him once within 3 minutes. And they all attempt doing an attack at once first, though Endeavor blows them away each time. Let's see, with like Shoto's ice being completely ineffective against Endeavor for his one. And then when it comes to the last 2 minutes, they all try attacking at once. With like let's see, like the 2 hero commentators commenting about why it's so that it seems like the #1 hero is going a bit too hard on them. It's like you gotta make it a little easier for them, but especially when he's using like his maximum fire moves,
right?
But Endeavor says that. Let's see, because they know that they never expected these students to be a match for the #1 hero, but Endeavor ends up saying, "Don't make light of these boys" and all that stuff. And then, let's see, as they get up, let's see, as he comments about how UA has this really has this motto they got from like the western side of the world, as all 3 of them shout "Plus Ultra."
Yep.
And they eventually each land a hit on him, even just barely. Particularly what Midoriya's saying. No, granted, with like Shoto, Endeavor says not bad Shoto because, well, father and son.
Yeah.
And then we get Midoriya landing a hit, though. Though it does shock like the 2 spectators, and time runs up. Let's see, though Bakugo ends up complaining about how if he had 30 more seconds, he would have had Endeavor, which I somehow doubt, but
it's Bakugo for you.
Let's see Shoto commenting about how he needs not enough firepower and how to work on that. And Midoriya doing his standard muttering about how he just managed to barely land a hit on the hero, and if he was a true villain, he'd probably lost. But yeah, but regardless, they pass, so they're going on this big mission, and apparently they're saying that apparently for the purpose of this critical mission, they'll be wearing these special suits geared towards stealth, which I think we've seen the teaser posters for that and all that stuff.
Yes, we did.
So yeah, Midoriya's like, "We're getting special suits." I know he's like me whenever I see characters when shonen characters wear some like battle armor preparing for it. I know. I'm just sort of obsessed with that for some reason.
So you say.
Yeah. I mean, you still on the. I mean, you never hear me shut up about how I wish Naruto wore a leaf vest.
Yep.
But yeah. But yeah, I do like how Midoriya. Let's see. Before that, I do like how Shoto ends up commenting about how he's been thinking of upgrading his arm covers and all that stuff. But I do like how Midoriya wants to wear a cape like All Might.
Yep.
During his Silver Age look. But he's thinking
Capes.
like,
Capes on a stealth mission? Get out of here.
yeah, I do like how Bakugo points it out. Granted, I'm now starting to think of Edna and Incredible saying like, no capes.
No capes. Yeah, no capes.
But yeah.
Capes on a stealth mission. Get the hell out of here. As his gauntlets are made like super.
Mm-hmm.
His grenade gauntlets are made like super intricate or some shit like that. As Todoroki points out.
Yep. With like also one of the, as we end up seeing in the last few panels, one of the like spectators from the agencies asking if whether or not these lot can get along. Let's see, but we get a narration of Midoriya about the overseas mission where he'll meet. Well, we get a glimpse of someone from I think Egypt, or was it like a statue of Egypt, or is it someone that looks like a from Egypt?
I can't remember.
I'm not sure if this is an actual hero or just an image of Egypt to imply that we're going to Egypt or not. But
if it's a world mission, I'd imagine that they're going to be touring somewhat. So it could be a statue, or it could be, yeah.
But anyway, we also get this lion-looking like hero, and this and for the villain, we seem to got this dude with a mustache.
Mustache.
Clearly,
he's evil. He's got a mustache.
Yeah, evil mustache. But these are probably those two are probably glimpses of like some characters that are probably going to play a bit of a role in the arc and all that, in the movie. I mean, as they're going to run it, and Midoriya's wondering who they're going to run into in this sort of like mission, and that's the end of the special chapter.
Yeah,
it's a pretty quick, straightforward chapter, and pretty much you just have Midoriya, Bakugo, and Shoto versus Endeavor.
Yep. I'm wondering, sometimes the manga will have events that partake, like the movie will have some parts of something, but I don't know. Maybe that won't actually appear in the movie. But it would be kind of cool if the movie had literally did like a super quick recap of. Even though I know this chapter came out, I think before. Obviously, the movie was in production long before this chapter came out. But maybe they had it in the blueprints that, hey, Bakugo, Deku, and Shoto, I'll do this really quick team up and have this really quick fight against Endeavor. But if they don't, then, I mean, for a setup, obviously it's just telling you, hey, go watch the movie. You'll have to see what happens.
Yep. But
so, at least we know Deku's not going to be like this pretty OP guy. I think at best we'll see is Black Whip and Black Whip officially at full power.
So this chapter will probably appear in like a as an OMake in one of the volumes, maybe even the team up volume mission, as I think one of the tie-in chapters for like the first movie is in like the first volume as well. By the way,
but
it's all that stuff. But yeah,
didn't the tie-in chapter for the movie just be young All Might kind of training?
I think that was one of them, but I think there's also one where they have like exploring the daughter's backstory a bit. When she found out
Alice's, yeah.
But so we might get this there, but
But I think I thought her and her dad were supposed to eventually become like truly canon to the manga, but
I believe they've appeared in the team up manga, spin-off at least.
Have they? All right, so then they're still technically. So that movie is somehow canon.
Yeah. So there's that at least, but I think other than just showing like a fight between like Endeavor and like and the main free trio of the movie, I'm very curious to see what their movie, since the movie is going to be about them. I'm very curious to see what it'll do differently, because the last two movies gave us like some scenarios that you wouldn't get in the manga, such as Midoriya and All Might teaming up against a villain. We never really saw that in the manga.
Nope.
And then we had, like, in the second movie, we had Bakugo and Midoriya teaming up, which has happened before, but this time, Bakugo also having one for all, even if only briefly.
Yeah, it's probably like the only piss moment in that whole movie. Which, again, for if anyone doesn't know what piss stands for, it's plot-induced stupidity. I will always make mention of that. So, yeah, that was definitely a forced moment. So, we're gonna give you one for. We're gonna have the one for all have this very, very unique ability where you can transfer it over, but if you are doing it out of like super necessity or something, and you really don't want to let go of it, yeah, we'll return it to you. And guess what? The guy that you gave it to will have no memories of using it.
Yeah, it'll be very, yeah. So it's very, very interesting to see if they try something else unique with one for all here in this time. But
it is going to be awkward in this movie for sure. To just knowing what the second movie did. So, yeah.
I don't know, but other than this, the purpose of this chapter is also to show where Midoriya, Bakugo, and Shoto got those, let's see, cool uniforms,
right,
from the movie. So yeah, that's probably
watch those uniforms not play that big of a role.
Or at least, well, show where they get those stealth uniforms. But yeah, we'll see
right.
whether or not. Now, apparently, that let's see, it's implied that the reason, but we get a reason why they're wearing them now. It's apparently stealth missions, so. I don't know. I guess we'll see if they actually do anything stealth-like with them.
Of which of them, I think Midoriya is the only one close to stealthy. I think he's the only one close enough. Like I think his is the only power set that can be used in stealth, unless Bakugo can somehow make silent explosions.
Yeah. Well, I think Shoto could, let's see, do stealth with ice if he's like very careful of how he melts the ice and all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, his amongst all of them, Shoto's mobility is probably the weakest.
But yeah,
even though it's not necessarily the weakest, it's just the weakest in terms of stealth.
Yeah,
the only way he can be mobile is by making his Iceman ice bridge.
Yeah. But anyway, one thing I also like to note is that the fact that in this chapter we learn that Midoriya is actually interested in getting a cape for his costume.
I think some of his early designs had capes, or maybe they didn't. I don't know, but capes. Cape.
So I go on.
I just said cape. That's all.
Okay. I mean, granted, Midoriya came a bit close to with Gran Torino's scarf, when he went on on the run and all that stuff.
I guess you could argue that his mask that he never wears is his cape of sorts.
Yeah.
Kind of, it floats as one.
Yeah, let's see. We did finally end up wearing it in the latest arc and all that stuff. Now, granted, it's now torn off, so I'm just wondering that Midoriya is probably going to get a new look. So who knows? Maybe we'll get the cape with this one.
Could. I don't know. Capes are kind of, especially with what he's doing. I don't know if a cape works.
But yeah. Anyway, we'll end up seeing a new. Probably get a new look of Midoriya's by now. But yeah.
Be cool.
Anyway, let's see. So, do you want to give a grade to this, spin-off chapter, or you think it's a bit too short to do that?
If I were to do it, I mean, I'm gonna do it star-wise for like a movie. I don't know, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, depending on how whatever person does their star ranking.
That would be like a 7 or 8 out of 10, which, to be fair, I think this is probably what that would be. It's like a filler chapter, but it's a nice, fun filler chapter.
Yeah, it's not something that's not really to be taken story-wise, unless you're keeping up with the anime. Then I guess it kind of fits in a lot more smoother than if you're reading the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, if you're reading the manga or if you're watching the anime, odds are you haven't even read this bonus chapter, so to speak. So, unless they handed it out at the movie, that could have happened too. But No, I think. I mean, it's the same with every promotional manga for a movie. It's not something that's supposed to be looked at as
Seriously.
super serious. It's just supposed to be like an introduction to why the movie's even happening. Even
Yeah.
though I know the movie has its own intro itself, typically. This is supposed to be the pre-intro to the intro.
I did like the One Piece Witsy Chapter 0 with the Strong World one, where you see all these characters when they were like during Roger's time,
That's
and
neat.
when he was executed.
I
And
wish
I
I
did,
got into the One Piece movies because I'm told they're pretty damn good, but it's just like with One Piece, I got so far behind that it's just kind of hard to even want to dive back in.
and I did find like the prelude to the Road to Ninja chapter to be quite funny.
Yeah, I mean, even though that ended up having literally have the same scenario played out in the movie, only with the reverse characters, that was kind of. How did that happen twice?
I don't know, but yeah. No, granted, it's funny enough. It's also probably the only chapter where Kishimoto ever get close to doing fan service, if you will.
He did it early, ship it in too, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the only few things that Naruto had over other shonen mangas until Boruto came along. But I'm not going to get into that.
Of course not.
Let's see. But anyway, I think we've just about covered everything. Thank you for joining me, MangaReader. I'm not sure if you want to do this again next week for the next chapter and all that stuff, but you're more than welcome.
If I find the time, I might be able to. If
Yeah.
not, I'll still do it again in the future one day, at some point.
Yeah, I often try and review the chapters of My Hero on a Monday with Lucky Chi, but you'll be absent for a few more weeks. But yeah, let's see overall.
We'll see. Like I said, I probably should be available, but I'll let you know in the future.
Okay, fair enough. Well, anyway, I'm Blue Star Saber,
I'm MangaReader.
and we're signing off. Goodbye, everyone.
Ciao.
Thank you. Plus Ultra,
Plus Ultra.
and we're done.
Cool beans.